competitive against that team, which you guys have been a lot, to actually having a threat?
True belief, true preparation. At the end of the day, it's a game and anything can happen. And the way that we practice this week and the way that we prepare, the way that we travel, the way that we approach this thing, I think will tell a lot about where things are at on Saturday. And I do believe that there's a real belief here. And even though it hasn't been perfect, we aren't clicking on all cylinders, but it's another opportunity to go get better against an unbelievable team, extremely well coached, physical, violent, a lot of really good things that are going to test all of our rules and all of our players. And at the end of the day, this is another op for us to go get better. So it's hard to say, truly.
Was there any sort of coaching emphasis or coaching, adjustments last week, or did the offensive line really start clicking?
Yeah, I think that was one of those things during the course of the week. We ran the football better in practice, and it had been coming. We had been saying we were getting better. I don't know if you guys believed us, but we were, and it was one of those things that the guys stepped up. They played physical, they played violent, they played together. It wasn't perfect, and our back was unconscious. And he played, he showed why, he's one of the best backs in the country. And so I think that was one of those things that it was new, it hadn't happened yet, but I don't know if they were sitting there too surprised.
I heard you guys pumping in the crowd noise.
Yeah.
The road game is difficult, but especially a night game in the SEC. How tough are those environments?
That's going to be tough, nothing that we can do here will truly simulate Saturday night. Especially those guys, with some of the move calls that they make. They had South Carolina, they got them to jump off sides, I think 4 or 5 times at home. They do it specifically at home, where they make move calls and they get you to move and they shift and they stunt. They get you to do those things at home because they have a competitive advantage there. Why not do it? So those are the things that we're practicing. Those are the things that we have to be on the screws. And will it show up? Hopefully not. But we can't simulate it fully, but it'll be a great environment for these kids to go play. What an experience. And just look forward to Saturday night.
Are there 1 or 2 things where you do the passing game where you say we need to improve in these areas to get better in the pass game?
I think it's a chemistry, it's a connection. When you lead the country in drops, it's not really a good thing. So I just talked to the guys about, there's 24 hours in a day, right? You're at school, you're eating, you're doing things. Well, let's get on the jugs. Let's get some extra work in. We had a great throwing session last night after practice with a bunch of guys, and I think they want to do it, but we have to do it, and we're going to face the most competitive physical catch team that we've faced so far up to this date. And we have to fix it, and we have to fix it in a hurry.
Liam, batted balls at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
How do you go about trying to fix that?
It's a combination of the one backed up. We were running a little trap pass deal, and the tight end gets delivered. This is one of those things, right? You guys probably don't, this doesn't go into it, but the tight end gets delivered all the way down the line of scrimmage, so he's in the spot that he's not really supposed to be, where we're trying to throw the pass. The guard gets knocked back a little bit there, where we're getting some penetration, and Devin can be better with his eyes. Just, all right, well, we know where we're trying to throw the ball. Well, let's, use our eyes as a weapon and try not to just, look to where we're going to throw the football at times. The play, we've repped the play, we've hit explosives on it already 2 times this season. Let's use our eyes as a weapon to try to influence and affect the defenders in a way to where, as a shorter guy in some instances, we can't have those things, right? Is it going to happen? Sure. But it can't happen the amount that it has so far. And then the second one on 3rd down, they bring a corner blitz, and we don't pick up the corner blitz. And so he's throwing through a truly free defender, and at that time it becomes arm angles, changing some of those things in order to make a throw. We've got to pick up the corner blitz. So, yeah, I'd love to be able to fix it with the quarterback. We have to fix it with all 11 too.
Georgia is still Georgia, obviously, but it seems like, you know, a couple of those SEC games they've been close. Do you sense something like there's without giving away your secret sauce? Like, where's that window where you guys can attack them and take advantage of that?
You know, honestly, we're really just focusing on playing a full game. You know, executing a full game plan. We executed really well in the run game, but we didn't execute worth a bit in the pass game and on third down. So we're just really focusing on the situational football, every single phase of the offense, every single phase of the game plan. If we can execute that just a little bit better, that's what we have to do in order to beat Georgia. The rest will, you know, it's going to happen Saturday night regardless. But we need to focus on ourselves and execute at a higher level. And if we play as physical as we did with the same energy and juice, you know, good things should happen.
Steve has talked a couple times this week about needing to see more from Anthony and Mikel this coming week. Anything specific you've seen from them in practice this week, or anything specific you're looking for from them?
You know, just looking for consistency, right? I mean, they're two young guys that obviously haven't played a ton of football. So that game experience is necessary. You know, we need to get them going a little bit. You know, Dane and those guys can't play as many snaps as they're playing. Not because it's not warranted, just for longevity of the season and to get those guys some opportunities. And AB's been a great addition to this offense in terms of doing everything right all the time. He has to continue to play with that consistency, and then DeKel has to as well just be getting off on the right snap count, running the right route, running it fast. Truly have us trust you to do everything. I really like DeKel Crowdis. I want him to do well. I do trust him, but now, hey, in an extended role, how do you go out there and handle that? But I am excited to see those guys, get out and be able to be a little bit more part of this thing.
As much as I guess as a coordinator, you want the passing game. When you have a rush game like that, how much does it really make you or help you appreciate, just the importance of the run game to your strategy?
Yeah, I mean, that's always kind of been like what we were. 2 years ago, that was kind of our identity, was running the football and being physical. It's what we've stressed since we walked in the door here in January. It was the number one thing that we were trying to get better at, was being physical and dominating people in the run game. And that was nice to see. It was good to see it happen. We had seen glimpses of it this year, right, where we've had some really good runs, but then we had a lot of negatives, right? We were in the negative train, -1, -2, -3 yard runs, but then we'd bust out a 50-yarder. Well, Saturday, the consistency, the dominant play by those guys, the physicality, that's what we've been preaching. That's what those guys have been working towards. So very proud, to see that come to fruition. And now if we can just put it all together, be a little bit happier.
Do you feel like teams still look at that as a basic core in establishing offense? You're really trying to establish a run and then doing other things?
I think so. I mean, if you look at, you look at Georgia, right? You look at those guys on their side of the ball on offense. I mean, they're still trying to be physical, and they're violent, they're physical. You watch those guys and they do things right in all aspects. The wideouts block, the tight ends block. They have a lot of pride in what they're doing, and so do we. And that's what we've been, trying to get better at. And everything that we do, regardless of, our skill, quarterback, this, that, and the other, the number one thing we want to do is run the football and be physical and be violent and establish the line of scrimmage. And, so hopefully that can continue, to build off this game. I was proud of those guys.
John, last one. John, last one.
As a play caller, I mean, you're going to have a really good game plan to beat Georgia, to have a defense like Georgia. How do you balance that and not try to do too much against a defense like that?
Yeah, that is a great question. I mean, I think looking back at 2 years ago, watching that game a few more times, I remember walking out of that game saying, man, the first 20 plays of the game, I didn't call it aggressive enough. And then we got a little bit more aggressive and were able to move the football and do some things. And so I think it's definitely a balance, and a fine line, but we need to be aggressive. We need to give our kids an opportunity and a chance to go compete and not just call it to hopefully get some things done. You know, we have to be aggressive. We have to give our kids the best chance to be successful.
Is that because you were giving Georgia's defense too much credit?
Probably so. And, you know, just probably so. Just trying to be careful, right? You go into it, and you know that defense was really good, but we had some good players too, and probably just was a little on the conservative side. Once you start to let the kids just go play and open it up a little, you saw them go play and open it up and make some plays. So you just look at it. That's a great question, because it is always a fine line between going in that environment and going up against a team like that and trying to unload it. And then you end up wasting all your shots and your plays, and maybe not against the right look, things like that. So we just have to be smart about it, but we also have to go in and be aggressive.
Folks, gotta get to our other coaching players.
Thanks, guys.
How we doing?
How good did that feel on Saturday?
It was good. I mean, it was a fun one to be a part of. I mean, I was just happy for our group, happy for our team, happy for Coach Stoops and Liam, but it was a fun one to be a part of. I mean, you don't get too many of those as an O-line coach and as an O-line unit. They don't come around too often. So I was very proud of our guys, and they played hard and they had the right mindset. They've had the right mindset for, I feel like, for the majority of the year, and it's we've had 2 really good weeks of practice leading up to the Florida game, and it just kind of showed. And our mentality was we knew we just wanted to be the most physical team, and we'll figure it out on the sideline and we'll make adjustments. But I thought, from the first snap, I felt like our guys came out and tried to prove they were the most physical team.
Was it just like a click thing, like it just hit, everything's just hitting?
Right now? I mean, I think with the combination of them, I think Ray with Ray running the way he is, with our guys getting a little bit more confidence up front, Liam leaning on the run game when it was, for the last couple of weeks, we've just been talking about up front, like just earning runs, man. We can't just call runs to call runs. Like, we got to earn them. We got to stay ahead of the chains. And, we did that on Saturday. And when you stay ahead of chains, man, it allows you to keep calling runs and to keep running, and to keep wearing people down.
Flax, just what has impressed you with him, I guess, going back to the offseason until now? What has he improved the most?
I think with Flax, I mean, obviously and I think Coach spoke on it earlier, just this time, the way college football is right now. And I told those guys in the spring, hey, I'm going to go bring competition in. I think that was the number one thing that we needed in our room after last year was competition and guys to come in and push each other and compete. And Flax has looked at it and has done a great job with it. Has all the way through summer and fall camp and has competed and hadn't flinched. And you got to. And that's what we wanted. Ultimately, that's what we wanted up front, is for the best guys to play, and that's not a knock on Cortland at all. And he's done a great job since he's been in here. But Flax has stepped up, and he's had a good year, and he knows that there's a lot of season left. So, this is a good stepping stone and a good, growing as a human being and as a football player, and hopefully he handles the success a little bit. And I think he will. He'll be humble about it and keep his head down and keep working.
This week, you all don't get that too often. How did it feel to get some individual recognition this week?
It felt really good to get the recognition. I mean, obviously, it's not something that I want to dwell on or be so uppity about, but, it's nice to get the recognition when I got it, and I'm just thinking about upping my level and keep getting better after that.
For you as a player, what do you think the biggest difference from last year to this year? Like, take yourself back to week 5 last year. What's the biggest difference for Jeremy Flax now in 2023 as opposed to 2022?
Definitely just the confidence and being more comfortable within the things that I'm doing and within the offense. I think last year, coming into week 5, I would definitely still be nervous and worried about things and maybe even some anxiety. But now, through just upping my level in everything, I've been able to prepare myself to where I don't feel that anymore. I'm just kind of just cruising through it.
Do you think some of that confidence comes from just experience, just getting game reps on your belt?
Yeah, it's definitely just from experience, but it's also, I think, it comes with preparation and being in the book and watching film and knowing exactly what I have to do.
When did you think you all as a line knew you were all going to have a big kind of 300-plus yard day? Was it like back here at practice, watching in the film room, or was it first or second series when you got out there?
I don't think any of us really expected a 300-yard rush day. I think in preparation and talking with Coach Coen and Coach Yenser, we knew we were going to be able to run the ball a lot, but 300 yards was something we definitely wasn't expecting. We was just kind of taking it play after play after play, but seeing that at the end of the game, it was really surprising, and we really loved that.
How much do y'all feed off a guy like Ray when he's getting those big runs, making people miss and running people over?
I mean, it makes you want to block even more. I mean, it should. When you got a running back who's that good to the point where even if you mess up a block, he can kind of make you right. It gives you the confidence in the world that, Ray's going to run hard no matter what.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Just still putting their head down, going to work.
I mean, it's what Coach Stu preaches. Again, being prideful, being selfless, being able to go out there, and you may not get the accolades, you may not get all the attention, but what are you doing to help us get the W? And that's what the tight ends are doing. They're sacrificing by putting their bodies on the line and making very key critical blocks for the run game and the pass game. And it's going to show. I mean, you got to think about it. We have a long season. I guarantee you, Caddis, Bates, Dingo, both Dingos, Kamari, all those guys are going to come up and make a big play. And it's just about just staying down till you come up, and those guys are doing that. I mean, Caddis is just, a sophomore, a true sophomore, and he's out there blocking 6'4", 6'5", 350 linemen. I mean, look, that kid is just special. And Bates has been here for 1,000 years, but Bates has been doing it for a while, man. And it's great to see these guys being selfless. I mean, I look up to those guys tremendously to see how they don't pout, they don't cry, and it's also what Coach Stoops is preaching: being prideful, being selfless. What are you doing to help the team? And those guys are doing what they're doing.
As a running back, with all the attention on the passing game and quarterbacks and such, for you to have a game like that really illustrates, the importance of having a good ground game. But for you, what does that mean in terms of what you wanted to add when you came here, and did the percentage matter? How much, not so much you, but the ground game you really got in the offense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, having Dev, I kind of knew what it was going to be when Dev came in. I knew he had a really good arm. I knew what he did at NC State. So I had a feeling with our receivers it was going to be maybe more pass than run, but it was about just my ability to do it. When I get the ball, what am I going to do with it? I got to go out there and make something happen. Again, having that next man up mentality. If the pass is not working, well, we got to go on the run game. And if the run game's working, and then we're going to, try to work that out until the pass game gets back. For me, it was about just coming here and having that ability to just play my game. I'm a versatile running back. I can be in the pass game too. So just being able to show that I can do it each and every way, and being a 3-down back has just been the best thing.
Wait, just how fun was it? Just have a game like that?
It was fun. I mean, it was amazing. It was fun, and but today's Tuesday. That was Saturday. It's over. I've enjoyed that. Now I'm on to Georgia. I'm on to trying to just be able to be the best player I can be for my teammates and be able to try to go out there and get the W.
The 75-yard touchdown, was that the cleanest run you've ever had?
Dang, I've been in this game for a while too. Now I'm thinking about it. I've been in. For college for sure. It was definitely a clean run. My tight ends were able to do their blocks. My receiver was able to get up to the corner. Up to the safety, and it was just about just seeing green grass and hitting that top speed.
Kentucky's been in some games like this with Georgia, where first place is first place in the division on the line. Just how do you feel like the team's psyche is right now for having this big of an opportunity this early in the season?
Right now, we're focused on just trying to get 1% better every day. We're practicing. We're not trying to think too far ahead. We're trying to stay in the moment. Today's Tuesday. We're worried about what we're going to do Wednesday, and then after Wednesday, we're going to worry about what we do Thursday. So, just the pass and the first place and all that, that's not really on our mind right now. Our mind is to go out there and just compete and give Georgia the best game that they've had all season, and for Georgia to give us the best game we've had all season.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.